Yeah, this is the Black Russian Podcast review. It's our second review. We did the Red Table Talks, and now we're gonna do Wanderlust. And we could have waited till later on tonight, marinated on it, but fuck that. After we watched the ending last night. So, if you haven't seen it, you should go see it. You'll know what we're talking about. But it's a cool show on Netflix called Wanderlust, which is about this married couple that has been borderline non-sexist for a while, and they decided to open up their relationship. And it was getting into some of the very cool minutia and feelings that you feel when you're starting to think about it, and you get into it, and you guys go on your first date, and all the ups and downs, and the connection, and the benefits, and all this stuff. And then,
so we were excited about it.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. We were watching it every night, and got into it. It's written very well. Actors do a very good job. I mean, it's done great. And then it gets to the end.
Well, I think the problem was that we were anticipating that it will be an ongoing open marriage,
Right.
And they will just go through, different situations and problems and, whatever you get into, but then they will write it out and go to the next one.
Right.
And then at the end of the last episode, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do spoilers because we don't give a shit. And they're not doing this for like a movie review, we're not doing it from that angle. We're doing it from the relationship standpoint. So you should go see it. You should watch it. It's good. You should watch it. It turns bad. But basically what happens at the end is, the husband, like, they're supposed to be dating, but the first person he dates, he ends up creating a relationship with and end up leaving his wife for her. And the wife dates once or twice, but nothing really happens, and she ends up reconnecting with her flame from high school, and damn near trying to get him to leave his marriage. None of that has anything to do with non-monogamy or polyamory. That is complete breaches of all of the whole process of it. I'm not saying that people can't change, but that's not open relationship. They're disguising infidelity and monogamous values in this space. That's not what so that's how I felt.
I think that like having seen it and seeing how they ended it, it's basically a very common view on how open relationships work, right? You talk to to a lot of long-term, married couples that hide their problems, and then you talk to them about open relationship, and I think that the most common reaction is like, well, they don't end up well. Someone ends up falling in love, and there goes the marriage.
Right.
And I think that the whole the show was made from that perspective.
Very much
basically
so.
They had problems, and if you read anything or you go through your own transition to non-monogamy, or you live in non-monogamy, you know that you do not use an open relationship as a
Band-aid.
As a band-aid. If you have problems in the relationship, they're real problems, and you shouldn't be opening the relationship as a way to heal the problems.
Right.
You can open it as a way to add some extra energy into it, but that's provided that there are no problems or basic major fundamental problems.
Right.
When you do have those, you end up falling in love because you like somebody better. They give you stuff that you cannot get from your wife or your husband, and it pulls you. So, and if you don't have tools to work through that, then you end up, breaking up. And that's, I think, the most common view of long-term married couples, that, you open a relationship and there it goes.
Right.
And that's exactly what they showed.
Yeah, and it was almost like a haha. I was like, was it written by the church or written by was it paid for by some like traditional values group? Because the way it wraps up, and it's so the way that it wraps up like that, for one, is one of my issues. The fact that the way it played out after the first couple episodes, where they basically fell in love with another person, switched lanes, to me, that's not the concept of non-monogamy. That's a concept of one at a time. And also, the way they end up getting back, the married couple gets back together, so corny and so bad. What's that?
Yeah. No.
Oh, you smacked. Okay. Like, what happens is, when the guy, Alan, moves in with his new girl he fell in love with, he finds out that she's messy. He's a super neat freak. And then she ends up freaking out and being like, because she bumps into his ex-wife at a store, and ex-wife is not giving her like complete joy and compersion that she basically is, now the new lady in her husband's life and whatever. And so she comes back to the guy Alan, is all, this feels horrible, this feels like shit. And he's like, well, it's difficult, it's hard. So she basically says, I can't do this anymore. And then after that, he calls his ex-wife all sentimental and all missy.
He didn't call her, she called him.
Or she called him, but he's all missy. She went and tried to get her old flame once she realized that her husband was out and left and he was leaving, he was gone. She went and tried to go back to her old flame and get him to leave his wife for them so they could finally go off and do what they're going to do, and he didn't. So she was all bummed because she got dissed. She then goes home, gets all sentimental, calls Alan, her ex-husband, getting all sweetsy, and they both get sweetsy. They end up just going back together, moving back in the same house, and that's the end of the damn show.
So it's a default. It's like other things did not work out, so of course the most comfortable thing is the marriage, and here we go. I think that, I don't know if there's going to be another season, but the way that she looked at him sleeping as the last scene is like, wow, okay, that's all I have left, and that's what I'm working with. That's basically kind of like
right,
the vibe. So maybe we're premature with like a super, what the hell was that
better
review?
Come out with a
and
season 2 and
maybe
change.
There's another season coming, and where they actually
flip that shit.
But like thinking about it, it is hard. Like you have two people that all they know is their marriage and their kids and stuff, and something is not working out. And then so they decide to open it, and then he does fall in love, which is super easy to do.
And
right?
it
like
happens. It does happen.
Easiest thing in the world. And if you don't have anyone to work through that with, and if you cannot work through that one internally,
right,
then that's what happens.
Right. And the reality is, if your core marriage is in a state to where you can fall in love with someone else and want to walk away, it has nothing to do with whether non-monogamy works. It has to do with your relationship. The foundation of your relationship maybe wasn't where you thought it was, and maybe it was time to go. But the guise of it is real bad. I mean, of course, when you first get into open relationships, it's very common. A lot of people do end up finding somebody that sees them in a way that they haven't been seen in a while. And that is what a lot of people fall in love with. Is, when you're in a long-term marriage, like we're talking to our son, he dropped this really cool term they learned from school. It's like when you first get with somebody, it's a very passionate love. But after time, it's just naturally switching into a companionate love, where it's more of a companion. And the high flames aren't there. The love is there, the structure is there, security is there, but the high flames aren't there. So when you first open your relationship, there's a layer of excitement. And when you first meet somebody, there's a super layer of excitement and NRE, and that's where you get that passionate love. And so you think and start feeling emotionally that that's the way, that's how I want to feel, this is the person. And you're assigning the messenger with the message they're providing, which is a very first part message in any relationship. There's a passionate love, there's this NRE. And what happens is you may switch back to how you've always done it, which is one at a time. If I love this person this way, it must mean I need to be with this person all the time. And if you don't have the tools, the guidance, or at least in your relationship, have the core structure that, hey, we can really talk this through. Like, hey, I'm feeling this love for this person. What should we do about it? And you literally jump ship. That is the ultimate breach of non-monogamy, and it's pretty much just infidelity. You just leave, you break up with your wife and go with someone else. The fact that they both tried it and it didn't work one time, and they went back to each other like, oh, that shit didn't work.
Well,
that's the cliche narrative of people who have not experienced this. Oh, I tried it once and it doesn't work.
That's when I hope there's season 2, and then.
Oh, I hope so. We will take this all back and apologize because we like the actors and everything else, but You know, the whole, we hear this so much time. Oh, I tried that non-monogamy or that polyamorous stuff. It doesn't work for me. Or I don't want to, you know, okay, Cupid, if you're into that, don't talk to me. And it's like, you know, like, what the flying frisbee? Like, what do you mean? You've tried monogamy all your life and you didn't succeed the first time, did you? Are you still with the person that you first got with in high school? No. It's like never playing basketball and picking up a basketball and going to try to dribble and shoot and you fucking miss and you're like, oh, I tried that whole thing, it's not good for me. Or a fucking baby who can't walk, who's just crawling around, tries to walk one time, falls down, is like, yep, you know, and for the rest of his life into his adulthood is crawling or fucking around. And when someone goes, why are you still crawling? Oh man, you know, I tried that walk and it wasn't for me. You know, that is just so cliche, but it's emotionally comfortable. So a lot of people will gravitate to that. Like, yeah, you know, grass is green on the other side. You just stick with what you have, you know. And so they have this novelty NRE for a minute. But how long does that last before you go right back into the same thing? Especially if you're not talking about what happened and realize that what caused the problem was not the damn template, but was the work between the two people. So that's my rant. Damn it.
Clearly, someone's excited.
Bombaclot! Just like when it was over, we're just like looked at each other and was like, fuck. Get the torches. So
yeah, I think that, you know, whoever did it is really did it really super well. So hopefully there is season 2 there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold out for that.
You got some splaining to do. Splaining. What I was telling our friend Maria was, I'm like, it felt like they had this grandiose plan to do like these fully multi-seried show about the life of, you know, marriage and monogamy and just kind of delve into all these different things. And then halfway through the show, they got word that Netflix may not pick it up again, so they got to wrap it up in this one. And they fucking wrapped it up real quick to the quick bow and just blam. And it's like, it really just whiplash with no, and you know, I mean, as a show, artsy stuff, like I said, it's a really good show. It's written really well. The actors are great. If I was doing like a movie, like a Netflix show review, I'd give it like, you know, some stars. But I'm not doing it from that. I'm doing it from the misinformation that's going on about how monogamy is and non-monogamy is. Like, you're pro-mandating monogamy and you're making it the norm and the best way, and the other shit just seems crazy. And that's what you're trying to portray, it felt like to me, in this show. And that's really bomb-clot propagandist. So as that goes, the beginning of the show, middle of the show, end of the show, boom, quick,
It
boom,
just hit me.
bam.
I get to go home with
It's
you.
so mad. It makes me want to just punch a baby.
Jeez.
I'm not gonna punch a baby or punch a Russian.
I'll give you some milk.
Yeah.
And
So
cookies.
we're gonna go get breakfast and get over that. But you should go watch it. We need you guys to watch it and then give us your feedback. Maybe we're interpreting it all weird, but you should do that because it's one of the shows. If you're interested in this life beyond the assumptive box that one is for everything and there's no other way to do it, like us. It's a show worth watching. It's, you know, it's scratching the surface on covering the topic, and I think it's important to cover it more and more in different ways. So that's what it is. Black Russian Podcast. Episode 36 is coming soon. We're having goofy technical difficulties with the damn iPad to YouTube shit, but it's coming. So, bye.
So yeah.